Today, I am rating every weapon in Halo Combat Evolved on the official Combat to Evolved scale. I will be judging each weapon by lore, function, gameplay effectiveness, and most importantly, how many aliens it helps me violate. These are just my opinions, but I'm also the Master Chief, which means my opinions are facts. Now let's dive right into it. First up on the Combat to Evolved scale, the shotgun. This is the UNSC M90 Close Assault Weapon System, a pump-action shotgun that fires 8-gauge Magnum shells. The shotgun is not subtle. It does not negotiate. It walks into the room and says, "This is my swamp now." In Halo CE, this thing is a monster up close. Against the Covenant, it deletes anything dumb enough to stand in front of it. Against the Flood, it becomes a public health solution. The moment the Flood show up, Halo stops being military sci-fi and becomes survival horror. Except this time, the monster in the hallway is you. Combat forms rush you, shotgun. Infection forms swarm your ankles, shotgun. RB warts at you, shotgun.
What?
It is loud, heavy, brutal, beautiful, and like me, it only needs to come once. But it is not a 10. The range is the problem. Up close, the shotgun is evolved. Far away, you are not holding a gun anymore. You are holding a suggestion. Still, it is simple, powerful, and honest. You pointed at the problem, and the problem becomes modern art. So on the Combat to Evolved scale, I give the shotgun a 9 out of 10. Very evolved, very violent, very necessary. Next up on the Combat to Evolved scale, the plasma pistol. At first glance, this thing looks pathetic, but do not be fooled. This is the Covenant Type 25 directed energy pistol, a battery-powered plasma weapon used mostly by grunts and jackals. It fires superheated plasma instead of bullets, which home into your enemies. The normal shots are okay. They can finish off weaker enemies, but that is not why this thing matters. The real reason is the overcharge. You hold the trigger, the gun moans, and then it throws a glowing ball of disrespect that drains the battery and deletes shields like Cortana deleting my browser history. Elites, exposed. Jackal shields, gone. Your mother, moist. That is the plasma pistol's job. It is not the kill. It is the setup. You pop the shield, then swap to the Magnum, assault rifle, melee, or whatever else is feeling emotionally available. And that is why it is not a 10. A 10 out of 10 weapon finishes the fight by itself. The PP starts the fight, makes the enemy vulnerable and breedable, and then says, "Finish him." That is Halo's sandbox at its best. Covenant plasma melts shields. Human weapons tear through flesh. Use both, and suddenly, you are not just fighting. You are combat evolving. So I give the plasma pistol an 8 out of 10. Very combat, almost completely evolved, but still needs a friend. Next up on the Combat to Evolved scale, the Needler. This is the Covenant Type 33 guided munitions launcher, a weapon that fires sharp purple crystal needles that track enemies, stick into them, and explode when enough of them land. So basically, it's a gun that busts if you fire it enough. Lore-wise, the Needler fires sub-anise crystal shards that home in on targets, which sounds terrifying, until you actually pull the trigger and realize the needles travel slower than sprinting in Halo Infinite. That is the Needler's biggest problem. It is cool, it is iconic, it is beautiful, but it is also unreliable. The shots are slow, enemies can dodge them, cover ruins everything, and 1 or 2 needles by themselves do about as much damage as a grunt in heat. But when enough needles hit, now we are cooking, because once the Needler lands enough shards, the target super combines and explodes into a pink mist, kind of like Arby when his wives ward him. Jesus Christ. Sorry you had to see that. Anyways, against elites it can be amazing if the tracking behaves and the enemy does not simply walk behind a wall like a coward. Against grunts it is overkill. And against flood infection forms, this thing is secretly perfect. The needles home in, they only need 1 hit, and suddenly the entire floor full of popcorn parasites becomes a cleanup job. However, the Needler is not consistent enough. A great weapon kills when you need it to. The Needler kills when the stars and planets align.
Help me!
But when it works, it really works. Few things in Halo are more satisfying than watching all those pink needles hit, hearing the explosion, and realizing the enemy just died from an alien weapon busting on them crazy style. So on the combat to evolved scale, I give the Needler a 6 out of 10. Not fully evolved, but definitely combat confused. Next up on the combat to evolved scale, the assault rifle. Oh, my beautiful MA5B. My first love, my ride or die, my fully automatic military-grade situationship. This is the MA5B Individual Combat Weapons System, a gas-operated assault rifle with a 60-round magazine because back in Combat Evolved, the UNSC believed accuracy was optional, but commitment was forever. And look at her, that body, that ammo counter, that sound. When this thing starts firing, it does not sound like a weapon. It sounds like freedom having a seizure. The assault rifle is iconic. It is the weapon you think of when you think of Halo CE. It is reliable, loud, easy to use, and perfect for mowing anything standing close enough to regret its decisions. But I have to be honest with you, baby. You miss a lot. At close range, she is beautiful. At medium range, she is trying her best. At long range, she is basically throwing bullets into the future and hoping one of them remembers the mission. Against unshielded enemies, she works great.
We deliver.
Against the Flood, she is fantastic for clearing the little popcorn freaks off the floor. But against shields, that is where things get complicated. You can hold the trigger, dump half a magazine, and a elite will still look at you like, "Are we flirting?" And the worst part is, the Magnum exists. The Magnum walks in with one hand, deletes everything. And suddenly, my beautiful assault rifle is standing there like, "But Chief, I have 60 rounds." And I say, "I know, baby, and I love all 60 of them, even the 48 that missed." That is why the assault rifle is hard to rank. It is not the best weapon in Halo CE. It is not the most accurate. It is not the strongest. But it feels like home. This gun is combat evolved, not because it is perfect, but because it is part of the soul of the game. So on the combat to evolved scale, I give the assault rifle a 7 out of 10. She is not perfect. She is not always effective. Sometimes she misses more than my combat stick. But she is loyal. She is loud. She is beautiful. 7 out of 10. Not fully evolved, but I would still take her to dinner. Next up on the combat to evolved scale, the rocket launcher. This is the M41 Spanker, a shoulder-fired rocket launcher. The rocket launcher is simple. You point it at something you hate, pull the trigger, and suddenly that thing is getting a head start on the great journey. This weapon is pure killing power. Vehicles, crowds, shielded enemies, hallway problems, emotional problems. The rocket launcher does not solve every issue, but it does make most issues airborne. But it is not a 10, because the rocket launcher has one tiny weakness: you. At close range, this thing is not a weapon. It is a suicide note with a trigger. You fire it too close, and congratulations, you just combat evolved yourself. At long range, it is powerful, but you still have to time your shots. The rockets are not instant. If the enemy moves, dodges, or simply decides to not stand where your explosion was emotionally planned, you just wasted one of the most valuable shots in the game. And that is the real pressure. Ammo is limited. Reloading takes time. Every shot matters. But when it lands, beautiful, satisfying, orgasmic, turning the enemy into smoke, fire, and screams just does something to me. What Arby said. So on the combat to evolved scale, I give the rocket launcher an 8 out of 10. Insane killing power, huge explosions, beautiful results, very evolved, very deadly, very dangerous. Next up on the combat to evolved scale, the plasma rifle. This is the Covenant Type 25 directed energy rifle, basically the alien version of the assault rifle. It fires superheated plasma, chews through shields, does decent damage to flesh, and it does not need to reload. Instead, it overheats, which is the Covenant's way of saying, I can only come 25 times before I need a break. Can't relate. I have to admit, for a Covenant weapon, this thing looks incredible. 2 glowing barrels, alien curves, angry blue plasma, and the ability to make any elite look like he is about to drop the hardest album on High Charity. But here's the problem. The plasma pistol is usually the better choice. The plasma pistol has the overcharge. It pops shields fast, then lets you swap to something else and finish the fight. The plasma rifle does not do that. It melts shields over time. It is less of a precision tool and more of a glowing alien hose. Still, that does not make it bad. It is reliable and close to medium range. It feels good to fire, it sounds sexy, and it makes Marines scream, which is very important for morale. The weaknesses are range, overheating, and the fact that it does not hit as hard as it looks like it should. So on the combat to evolve scale, I give the plasma rifle a 7 out of 10. Good shield damage, decent flesh damage, beautiful design. The plasma pistol is smarter, but the plasma rifle is hotter. 7 out of 10. Not exactly combat, but sexy evolved. Next up on the combat to evolved scale, the sniper rifle. This is the System 99C-S2 anti-materiel sniper rifle, a gas-operated, magazine-fed rifle that fires 14.5mm armor-piercing rounds, because sometimes the UNSC sees an elite across the canyon and says, "I disagree with your location." This weapon is beautiful. It has power, range, accuracy, a clean scope, and even night vision when you zoom in. It dominates at all ranges. Long range, boom, headshot. Medium range, boom, headshot. Short range, you guessed it, boom, headshot. But unfortunately, the sniper rifle requires something many players do not have. Skill. You have to aim. You have to control your shots. You have to not panic when an elite starts moving side to side like he is avoiding child support. And if you miss, that is not the weapon's fault. That is between you, God, and your sensitivity settings. Ammo is limited too, so every shot matters. You cannot use this thing like the assault rifle and just spray your feelings into the room.
Stay on target!
This weapon demands patience and accuracy. But when you know how to use it, the sniper rifle is one of the strongest weapons in Halo CE. It dominates long range, deletes priority targets, and makes you feel like the entire battlefield is asking for permission to exist. So, on the combat to evolved scale, I give the sniper rifle a 9 out of 10. Personally, 10 out of 10. Objectively, 9 out of 10. Not because the weapon is weak, but because some of you are. Before we move on, we need to talk about 2 honorable mentions. Weapons that were not really part of the normal usable sandbox in the original Halo CE, but still deserve respect. First, the fuel rod cannon. In Halo CE, this thing is usually carried by grunts, which is insane. The Covenant really looked at the smallest, most panicked creature in the army and said, "Here, hold the radioactive grenade launcher." And that is basically what it feels like. This is not a straight-firing rocket launcher. The fuel rods are slow, floaty, and they dip as they travel, so you have to arc your shots like you are playing Angry Birds, except the birds are deadly bombs and your targets are alive. But when it lands, it hits hard. Groups of enemies, vehicles, tight hallways, all gone in green explosive disrespect. It is powerful, but awkward, deadly, but weird. Very Covenant. So on the combat to evolved scale, I give the fuel rod cannon a 7 out of 10. It's basically the Walmart version of the rocket launcher. Then there is the flamethrower, and I am just gonna say it. This weapon is cool as hell. It does not negotiate. It does not ask questions. It just walks up to a Covenant squad and says, "You are all going on the great journey medium rare." Against the Flood, it makes perfect sense. Halo turns into survival horror, and the flamethrower is the correct emotional response. Infection forms, combat forms, carrier forms, all of them deserve fire. Not bullets, not plasma. Fire. The problem is, it is limited. Short range, fuel concerns. So on the combat to evolved scale, I give the flamethrower a 8 out of 10. Wonderful for cooking some alien schmeat. Just be careful not to cook yourself. Last on the combat to evolved scale, the Magnum. This is the M6D personal defense weapon system, a semi-automatic pistol with a 2x scope, explosive 12.7mm rounds, and the stopping power of an ex-wife coming after your savings. This is not a sidearm. This is a pocket-sized hate crime. In most games, the pistol is what you use when your real gun runs out of ammo. In Halo CE, the Magnum is what you use when you are tired of pretending other weapons matter. This thing is accurate, powerful, fast, and disrespectful at every range. Up close, it drops bodies. Mid-range, it controls fights. Long range, it starts acting like a sniper rifle that got shrunk in the wash. The Magnum is supposed to be a backup weapon, but in Combat Evolved, it is the main character. It's so overpowered that you can look through a scope even though it doesn't have a scope. It hits like a truck. It kills fast. It makes Covenant armor look like wet cardboard. The shotgun owns close range. The rocket launcher owns explosions. The plasma pistol owns shields. But the Magnum owns Halo. This gun is so good that every other weapon feels like it is applying for custody of my attention. So on the Combat to Evolved scale, I give the Magnum a 10 out of 10. This is not combat. This is not just evolved. This is Combat Evolved. God made man. Bungie made the Magnum. And that is every weapon in Halo Combat Evolved ranked on the Combat to Evolved scale. Whether you agree or disagree, remember one thing. I am the Master Chief, and arguing with me is technically treason. Drop your ranking in the comments and tell me which weapon I disrespected. If this video does well, I'll rank the vehicles next, then move on to other Halo games covering weapons, vehicles, mods, and anything else Cortana tells me not to touch. And if you see the hype button, hit it. It helps the video reach more Spartans, more Marines, and unfortunately, more Arby. Until then, keep your shields up, clear your browser history, and finish the fight. 117 out.